Hi everyone, welcome to week 2 for our September videos. I am focusing on your babies for this month, whether they're infants or they're grown or they're fur babies. And this week's video, I'm going to talk about kids. So I'm just going to share some tips and things that we do with our kids just to help their bodies do what God designed them to do. So the first area that we tend to struggle with a lot with our kids is sleep. I feel like that's like an overarching theme for lots of things, right? There's lots of things in our life that can disrupt our sleep schedule, and kids can also be impacted by that, whether that's stress, maybe they're picking up on some of your stress, or maybe they're stressed about school or a sports thing. I don't know, whatever a kid would stress about, that could affect their sleep patterns and their sleep cycle and their body's ability to relax. There's a lot of things happening in our world right now, and I think that kids are really struggling on how to process things emotionally, and I think that that is showing up in their lack of deep sleep, because sleeping and deep sleeping are very different. So a couple things that we do, some of this is going to be similar for my video last week where I talked about with babies. We love lavender and cedarwood essential oil. They're just so calming, and cedarwood is grounding emotionally, so it just helps to calm the body down and kind of take the edge off. If you're feeling a little bit uneasy or anxious, the essential oils can go in and help the body restore its homeostasis, its happy place where it likes to be. There's also a specific sleepy blend that we use and love. We do a warm bath at night most nights, and then they also have salt lamps and sound machines in their rooms. I talked about this in my baby video, but if you missed it, a salt lamp is something that can put negative ions in the air, which is very beneficial for our bodies. We have a lot of positive ions from devices like this, and there are a lot of positive ions in our environment, and we need to have a balance of the positive and negative. So if you're needing more negative, a salt lamp is a great way to do that, and the heat from the lamp actually helps the salt to produce negative ions in the air. So we do that, and then the sound machine is probably because we start off doing that when they're babies, then they love to just continue with that. We have 3 girls, so they don't all wake up at the same time, and it's nice to have that background noise because they're not quiet. So if somebody's up and being loud, they're not going to wake the other ones up, because we homeschool, so we really don't have a certain time that we get up most days, and I try to let them sleep in as much as I can. My kids don't like to sleep in, unfortunately, but the opportunity is there if they decide to take it. We also have natural melatonin that we give them sometimes. I don't like to make it a habit because I want to support their body, and I feel like if you're giving them melatonin all the time, every night, I don't necessarily think that that's great for their body to be getting that all the time. So we use it sometimes when I feel like they are super hyper and need extra calming down, or if they get up in the middle of the night or they're having trouble falling asleep, that's when we'll reach for our melatonin. And it's actually a powder form that you just add water and stir, and they drink it. So we call it our special juice. And then for one of ours, we actually have a weighted blanket to help. There's lots of research on weighted blankets. I'm not going to get into that in this video, but a weighted blanket essentially just helps to provide a little bit of pressure for your body, and it's calming and can help you relax. So those are the things we do for our girls for sleep, in addition to proper nutrition, trying to move them throughout the day so they're wearing their little bodies out, running around outside as much as possible, letting them be wild and crazy through the house within reason, and then feeding them good things, getting outside in the sunshine. All those things are really good for your sleep patterns and your body's ability to regulate sleep. These are just things that we do in addition to all of that. I have some pretty accident-prone children, so we have lots of boo-boos that we manage. The first oil that I like to reach for is lavender. Make sure you're using pure therapeutic grade essential oil lavender, not the stuff labeled in your grocery store that says pure, because it can only be 5% pure and they can still call it pure. I don't know why that's a thing, but that's a thing. So you have to research your company and know for a fact what your company is doing, because the label is very misleading, and there's lots of marketing and research to trick the consumer and see what the consumer's looking for. So that's a whole nother video. If you want more information, just look up greenwashing on that. So make sure you're putting straight, pure, natural oils, not synthetic. We love lavender. We love helichrysum. Helichrysum helps with bruising. And we like to have frozen rice packs in the fridge. So I just get some fabric and make like a little pouch and fill it with rice and keep it in the freezer. And that's their little boo-boo pouch. And whenever they have a boo-boo, they just grab it and put it wherever it is that they happen to strike at the moment. I've had them run into the wall or fall off the couch, you know, lots of normal kid things. Not broken bones. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about little boo-boos, okay? If your kid falls and breaks a bone, please don't go and reach for your bottle of lavender. You need to seek medical assistance at that point. This is just for like, you know, your every little day, I need a Band-Aid kind of situation. So this is like your little Band-Aid. Obviously, Band-Aids make everything better, right? So make sure you have the little cute character Band-Aid so they can talk to Woody and tell them about their little boo-boo that they just got, right? Okay, the next one I'm going to talk about is colds. There are lots of things going around, and there are lots of respiratory viruses and yuckiness. So we're just talking about preventing that from happening, not treating it. Not a doctor, just sharing what I have used with our children whenever they feel kind of like icky or sniffly, and it's kind of that time of year where those things are going around. I like to just up our game a little bit so that we are supporting our body and giving it everything we can, in addition to all of the other things, right? This is not some kind of magic pill that you're going to take and it's going to miraculously make them perfect or not get sick at all. This is just in addition to the best practices that you all already do that I talked about before. So we have a respiratory blend of oils that we love to put on them. I make like a little chest rub where I mix it with coconut oil. Sometimes, depending on their age and how severe it is, we have raised their mattress. You know when you get like really stuffy and it's hard to breathe when you lay down and then you're able to like sleep in a recliner? It's kind of the same thing. Obviously, fooling with mattresses with itty bitty babies, super controversial, so that's up to you. But we have raised mattresses just to help with drainage and to help elevate their head. I know when I have a cold, I like to sleep with an extra pillow just so I'm a little bit more elevated. It just helps breathing better. We diffuse. We have diffusers in their room every night. I should have said that when I was talking about sleep because we put lavender and cedarwood in there. But if I feel like they need a little bit of respiratory support, we'll put those respiratory oils in their diffuser, like eucalyptus. That really helps to open you up. Make sure you're hydrating, getting lots of fluid in their little bodies, however you can do that. Water is the best. If you need to put some things in there to make it a little exciting for them, I'd recommend like essential oils, pure essential oils, or like some kind of way to flavor it without using sugar, like a natural form of sugar, like maybe putting strawberries in their water, something that you can regulate and know what it is, not the squirtable things that you buy at the grocery store. Those are usually loaded with yuckiness. So you want to hydrate. I should have put this in my baby video. Nose Frida is her little snot sucker. I know it looks disgusting and it probably sounds disgusting. I was disgusted the first time we used it, but it's amazing. When they send you home with that little snot sucker like bulb thing from the hospital, the thing is worthless. Just throw it in the trash. You want to get the Nose Frida snot sucker, and it is amazing what that can pull out. So we have used this on babies. We've used it on kids. It just helps to pull that mucus and stuff out of their nose so they can breathe so much easier. We also love saline spray. I'll usually just make my own. I buy amber glass, low batter. I buy amber glass bottles that have the nose attachment thing that you just spray up your nose, and I'll put our Berkey water with pink Himalayan salt in there and usually some essential oils. So that helps to just loosen up and moisturize up in their nose where it's kind of raw. If they are over a year, you can give them honey for respiratory support. I would not recommend it at bedtime because of the sugar. That has kept our kids up many a nights. And then you can even do a different sinus massage. So you have sinus like cavities in your head up here. So you kind of tap, and then here you can either tap or you can like press. You can even like massage. And then right behind your ear, if you push and kind of rub, that just helps to drain your sinuses, and it might help if their body needs some support. You can also visit your local chiropractor, and that's actually where I learned that tip. And they can help to relieve some pressure. They can check and make sure all the bones are aligned properly. You have bones in your head that move, your cranial bones right here. I didn't even know that was a thing until I took my little ones to the chiropractor, and they were teething, so their bones were all twisted or whatever. I was like, oh, didn't realize that was a thing. So visit your local chiropractor if you are struggling to help your little one with some sinus stuff. And then kids have, I talked about in the beginning, emotions, right? We all have emotions, and kids are really struggling sometimes learning how to deal with all of these big feelings. And a lot of our like tried and true parenting practices are kind of coming around, and research and such is showing that it's probably not the best practice to put them in timeout when they're really struggling emotionally, that they're really acting out to tell you that they need some love and extra support. And then lots of people send them in a timeout. We do timeout, no judgment, just sharing what I've read in some of the research. So you want to support their emotions as much as you can and teach them how to correctly respond when they get emotional. So you can do that by verbally, like saying what you're thinking. Mommy is really having a hard time right now, and I don't want to get angry. I don't want to say something that's going to hurt your feelings because I'm angry. So I'm going to go in my room and take a few deep breaths. And that's a healthy way to model for them something, a strategy that they could use. Or maybe you say, Mommy's really having a hard day. Can I have a hug? I really could use a hug from you right now. And then you do a hug, and hugs are really good for upping your happy hormones in your brain. So something that you can model like that is going to be beneficial for them in the long run, because a lot of adults don't know how to regulate their emotions because they were never really taught, and it wasn't really modeled when they were kids, especially men. It's not encouraged for them to show emotions, which is so sad. I know that I've probably said it, and I've heard people say it, like, suck it up, buttercup, and it's really not the best advice because we do have emotions and we have to process them in a healthy way. If not, it can create energy blockages in our body, and all kinds of things can go into that, but I won't digress down that rabbit hole on this video. So going back to emotions, we like to use lavender essential oil. I know I talk about that one a lot, but that one can be used for so many things. If you're in doubt, use lavender. Lavender essential oil is great. Tree oils are really good for emotionally grounding, like pine and cypress. Those are great to help your body just ground those emotions and like bring you back down to reality. Kind of just reminds me, like, sometimes your emotions are all like crazy and you might feel like you're up in the clouds. These tree oils are going to help to ground you, just like the roots of the tree hold the tree in the ground. I said that to model correct behaviors, make sure you are showing them acceptable ways to manage their emotions, and make sure that they know that emotions are okay. And it's okay to be upset. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be angry. It's just what you do with those emotions that can become a problem and can cause problems within the home and within your life. So it's okay to be angry, but it's not okay to hit your sister when you're angry. You need to find some other way to cope with that anger in a healthier way and allow your body to feel it for a little bit, but not sit in it all day. So make sure you're modeling that whenever you can, whenever you think about that. And make sure that you're telling them what they can do instead of what they can't. When I was a teacher, we always were told, make sure you make your rules so that it's what they can do. Your rule shouldn't be don't call out. It should be please raise your hand. So you're telling them what they can do instead of what they can't do. So you're trying to empower them. Look, you can do X, Y, Z, instead of saying don't do this, don't do this, don't do that. Now, of course, there's going to be times where you have to get a little animated. Maybe your child is like mine and likes to turn on the gas stove. That would be a time where you're not going to be like, okay, let's use our nice hands. Okay, so use common sense here. But whenever you can, as long as there's no danger involved, you want to model proper regulation of emotions and proper ways to handle stress and things that when things don't go the way that you wanted them to. So essential oils can be super helpful for that, but also modeling that yourself for your kids can be really helpful. I've rambled on for enough, so I hope this gave you some value and some tips to try. If I missed something or you have something you'd love to add, please drop a comment, and I would love to read some more ideas.